Work in silence, win in public. Let your results talk louder than your plans. Listen, too many people out here trying to show the world what they're about before they even built it. Everybody want to talk, everybody want to flex, everybody want to let people in on their plans before the work is done. But real power, real influence, it comes from moving in silence, from putting in the hours when nobody's watching, from grinding when the applause ain't there yet. You can tell the world everything you want, but until your results speak, words are just noise, and noise gets lost. Impact gets remembered. See, I learned early that people measure you by what you produce, not what you promise. Talk is cheap. Ideas are everywhere. But execution is rare. That's why so many folks stay stuck. They want to broadcast dreams instead of building them. They want to be seen working instead of actually working. And the thing is, when you shout your vision too early, people start doubting, hating, or even trying to redirect your energy. But if you focus, if you grind, if you let your actions speak, suddenly your results don't just tell the story. They command attention. They demand respect. They can't be ignored. Working in silence also teaches patience. It teaches you to respect the process. It teaches you to trust your own rhythm instead of seeking validation from everybody else. The grind ain't for clout. It ain't for likes. It ain't for applause. The grind is about creating value, building wealth, shaping yourself into someone capable of sustaining that success. Every step you take in quiet, every late night, every sacrifice, every repetition, that's compounding. And when it all comes together, the results speak so loud, people can't help but acknowledge the journey you took to get there. And let me tell you something about public wins. When they finally come, they hit different. Because it ain't just about the celebration, it's about the contrast. People see the success and they see the shine, but they don't see the nights you stayed up, the doors you walked past, the hands you shook in silence, the patience you held when nothing was happening. That contrast makes your victory undeniable. It makes your story powerful. It makes your influence permanent. Results don't just talk, they testify. They tell everyone who doubted, everyone who ignored, and everyone who slept on you that the work was real. Another thing is humility. When you work in silence, you learn to check your ego. You learn that you don't need approval to keep moving. You learn that the true measure of success is internal. It's how much you grew, how much value you created, how much you overcame. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. The strongest person is the one who can focus while chaos surrounds them. The one who can keep pushing while everyone else is distracted by the noise. That's how legacies are built, not with announcements, but with consistent action. And consistency, that's where the magic happens, because anyone can work hard for a day, a week, or even a month. But long-term results, that comes from discipline, from showing up when you don't feel like it, from repeating the process even when nobody notices. The silent grind compounds. Your skill grows. Your mindset strengthens, your network deepens. And when the moment comes to win in public, it's effortless because you've already paid the price in silence. People see the outcome, but they don't see the groundwork, and that's what makes it legendary. Remember this, talking about your plans doesn't make them real. Posting about your dreams doesn't create success. People can't invest in ideas until they see proof. And more than that, even you can't fully believe in your potential until you've proven it to yourself. That's why working in silence is so powerful. It gives you control. It allows you to master the craft, sharpen your vision, and align your energy without distraction. It allows your results to speak in a language that everyone understands without you ever needing to explain yourself. So move quietly, grind patiently, and focus relentlessly. Let the work accumulate. Let your discipline compound. Let your skills sharpen. And when it's time for the world to notice, your results will hit harder than anything you could have said. The applause will be earned. The respect will be deserved. The victory will be undeniable. Work in silence and let your success be so loud nobody can question it. Work in silence and focus on execution, because results speak louder than words or plans. And the truth is, most people overestimate the power of talking and underestimate the power of doing. Talking about what you want to achieve, posting about your goals, telling people your vision, none of that creates momentum on its own. Words are easy. Anyone can speak. Ideas are cheap. Plans are plentiful. But execution? Execution is rare. Execution is the bridge between dreaming and achieving. It's the difference between a concept on a page and a legacy in the making. And the people who understand that, the ones who quietly build while others talk, those are the ones who create results that command attention, respect, and influence. Too many people overestimate the power of talking and underestimate the power of doing. And that's why the idea of working in silence is so critical. Words are easy. Anyone can say what they want to achieve. Anyone can outline their plans, and anyone can broadcast their dreams. But action, real action, execution, that's what separates the talkers from the winners. Execution is the only bridge between intention and reality. You can have the MOS, brilliant ideas, the biggest dreams, and the clearest vision. But if you don't put in the work when nobody is watching, those ideas stay just ideas. They don't materialize, they don't impact, they don't change anything. The difference between people who fail and people who succeed is often measured by who can focus on the work quietly, consistently, and with discipline, without needing anyone to witness it. When you work in silence, you learn the power of patience and the value of the process. Results are rarely instant. Success rarely comes overnight. Most people give up because they're impatient. They expect recognition, applause, or visible progress immediately. And when it doesn't come, they doubt themselves. But those who understand how to work quietly know that real growth compounds over time. Every step, every repetition, every small improvement builds something larger than a single moment. When you keep grinding without needing validation, you are stacking your skills, building your character, and preparing for the moment when the results will finally speak for themselves. That patience, that faith in the unseen work becomes one of your most powerful advantages, because while others are seeking attention, you're building value. The act of working quietly also sharpens focus. When you're not constantly announcing your plans, you're able to concentrate fully on execution. You can refine your craft, correct your mistakes, and make strategic adjustments without the pressure of public scrutiny. You have space to learn, to grow, and to get better without distractions or external judgment. Silence allows you to see the gaps in your own abilities, recognize where improvement is needed, and act without fear of exposure. This focused effort is what turns ordinary work into extraordinary results. The more time you spend perfecting your skills in private, the more impressive and undeniable your results become when they're eventually revealed. Humility is another key part of working in silence. When you're not constantly broadcasting your ambitions, you develop a sense of discipline and a respect for the process itself. You learn to value effort over recognition, progress over applause, and mastery over ego. Working quietly teaches you that your worth is not determined by who notices you, who praises you, or who believes in you. It's determined by the work you do, the consistency you maintain, and the results you eventually produce. This internal measure of success strengthens your resilience because your motivation comes from within, not from external approval or fleeting attention. That kind of inner strength makes you unshakable in the face of doubt, criticism, or obstacles. Execution over talk also builds credibility. People respect results more than intentions. Anyone can make promises or claim they're working towards something, but until results are visible, words remain hollow. When you focus on execution, you create proof of your abilities. You demonstrate your dedication, your discipline, and your skill. That proof commands respect because it cannot be ignored, misinterpreted, or dismissed. Over time, your consistent results cultivate trust, influence, and authority. People start to see you as someone who delivers, someone who follows through, someone whose work speaks for itself. That credibility is invaluable and cannot be purchased or faked. Working in silence teaches resilience as well. There will always be doubt, criticism, and distractions. People may try to undermine you or distract you from your path. But if you've built a foundation of disciplined work in private, those external pressures lose their power over you. Your confidence is rooted in action, in the proof of your own effort, and in the knowledge that, you're progressing even when nobody else sees it. That resilience allows you to keep moving forward when others would falter, to keep building when others are distracted, and to stay committed to the process no matter the circumstances. It's this resilience that ultimately ensures your success when the results finally become visible to the world. Timing is also a crucial part of working in silence. When you focus on execution without broadcasting your every move, you control when and how your progress is revealed. You choose the moment when your work can have the maximum impact, when it can inspire, influence, or command attention. Premature exposure often leads to unnecessary pressure, premature judgment, or distraction. By keeping your focus on execution, you ensure that your results arrive at the right time, in the right context, and with maximum credibility. This control over timing amplifies the effect of your achievements and strengthens the impression of your success. Ultimately, working in silence and focusing on execution transforms not only what you achieve, but who you become. It teaches discipline, patience, humility, focus, and resilience. It helps you separate your ego from your work and allows you to measure your worth by tangible outcomes instead of temporary approval. It ensures that when you finally win in public, your results are undeniable, powerful, and lasting. The grind done quietly becomes a voice louder than any announcement, louder than any claim, louder than any plan. The work itself becomes the statement, and the results become the proof of your dedication, strategy, and unshakable commitment. Consistency, discipline, and patience in private build undeniable public success and lasting respect, because the people who achieve greatness understand that what you do when nobody is watching defines the impact you'll have when everyone is paying attention. Consistency means showing up every day, not just when you feel like it or when circumstances are favorable. It means committing to your vision and putting in the work repeatedly, even when progress seems slow, even when recognition is absent, even when doubts creep in. That repeated effort compounds over time, quietly accumulating into skills, habits, and momentum that cannot be rushed or faked. Consistency in silence builds a foundation so strong that when results finally emerge, they hit with force, clarity, and undeniable legitimacy. Discipline is the backbone of this process. Discipline is the choice to do what's necessary, not what's convenient. It's choosing to focus, to refine, and to endure when the easier path tempts you. People often mistake talent or opportunity for success, but without discipline, even the most gifted person can falter. Discipline ensures that your actions align with your goals, that every move you make contributes to the larger picture, and that you're steadily preparing for the moment when your efforts will become visible. It's the silent commitment to your craft, the unseen effort that bridges the gap between potential and achievement. Without discipline, consistency is shallow and results are unreliable. With discipline, every step taken quietly becomes a building block for enduring success. Patience is the third pillar of private preparation. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, the ability to wait, to endure, and to persist without immediate reward is rare. Patience allows you to trust the process, to respect the timing of life, and to remain focused when progress isn't obvious. It teaches you that meaningful results are never rushed, that the most profound accomplishments require time, and that the work done quietly accumulates into something far greater than superficial or temporary achievements. Patience key. PS you from being distracted by comparison, by criticism, or by the noise of those who demand immediate proof. It cultivates resilience, allowing you to stay committed to your vision even when external circumstances are challenging or uncertain. When consistency, discipline, and patience come together in private, they create a silent momentum that is impossible to ignore once it manifests publicly. People will notice the results, but they rarely see the countless hours, the repeated sacrifices, the moments of doubt overcome, or the meticulous attention to detail that made those results possible. This invisible work cultivates respect because it demonstrates that your achievements are earned, not claimed. Respect built in this way is long-lasting because it is rooted in evidence, not impression. When people see what you've accomplished without the need for constant explanation or promotion, your credibility becomes undeniable. Your influence grows organically because others recognize the authenticity and dedication behind your results. Private consistency, discipline, and patience also teach humility and focus. When you aren't performing for an audience, you learn to value the process itself rather than the applause it generates. You develop a sense of self-reliance, understanding that the work you put in matters more than the recognition you receive. This humility keeps you grounded even as your achievements grow, and it ensures that your success is sustainable rather than fleeting. Focus becomes sharper because your attention is directed toward real progress rather than distractions. You learn to prioritize what truly contributes to your growth and impact, and you ignore the noise that could derail your momentum. The combination of these qualities also strengthens resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles are inevitable in any meaningful pursuit. Without consistency, discipline, and patience, these challenges can become reasons to quit or excuses to delay. With them, challenges are opportunities to refine, adapt, and improve. Each trial becomes a lesson, each failure a step toward mastery, and each moment of doubt a test of commitment. By developing these traits privately, you prepare yourself to handle public scrutiny and pressure with composure, turning potential vulnerabilities into strengths. The resilience cultivated in quiet preparation ensures that when the spotlight arrives, you are ready to sustain your success and navigate any challenges that accompany visibility. Another critical aspect is credibility. People respect results over promises. Anyone can talk about their plans, but only those who consistently execute, maintain discipline, and exercise patience can produce outcomes that are undeniable. Public recognition becomes a natural consequence of private work. Your achievements speak for themselves, and the world cannot ignore the evidence of your effort. This credibility enhances influence, opens opportunities, and creates a reputation that precedes you. It's not about self-promotion. It's about letting the quality and consistency of your work establish your standing in any field or endeavor. Ultimately, consistency, discipline, and patience in private cultivate a mindset that prioritizes substance over spectacle. They shift your focus from external validation to internal standards, from momentary attention to long-term impact, and from superficial recognition to meaningful results. The work done quietly prepares you to succeed in ways that are visible, measurable, and respected. When the time comes for your results to be revealed publicly, the foundation built in silence ensures that your success is not only undeniable but also enduring. This approach transforms not only what you accomplish but who you become, creating a legacy rooted in genuine achievement and earning the lasting respect of those who witness it. When you focus on execution instead of noise, you start realizing that action compounds over time. Every task you complete, every skill you sharpen, every challenge you overcome in silence adds up. Nobody sees it. Nobody applauds it. And that's the point. The work is for you first. The results are for everyone else later. The grind, the discipline, the commitment, all of it is invisible, but invisible doesn't mean powerless. It means strategic. It means intentional. You're not performing for validation. You're building foundations. You're stacking blocks of skill, credibility, and value that will eventually support something larger than yourself. That's why silence is so powerful. When the world is shouting, those who are moving quietly have the advantage. They are growing, learning, and preparing, while others are distracted by opinions, social media, and empty chatter. Execution teaches patience. You learn to value the process over the appearance of progress. You understand that meaningful results are rarely instant. You learn to avoid the trap of chasing approval instead of achievement. Working quietly forces you to measure success by outcomes, not applause. You start to define your worth by the work you've done and the results you're capable of producing, not by how many people hear about it or cheer you on. That kind of mindset separates temporary performers from people who build lasting legacies. The louder the world becomes, the more valuable the ability to stay focused and disciplined in silence is. The quiet grind also builds character. It teaches humility because you realize that recognition isn't necessary to validate your efforts. You learn to trust yourself and the process. You become less dependent on external affirmation. You start to find motivation from your own standards and goals instead of the attention of others. This internal drive is what separates those who achieve once from those who sustain success. Because once you've learned how to work in silence, you're not vulnerable to distraction, criticism, or doubt from the outside. Your focus becomes unshakable, and your results eventually speak with a force that can't be ignored. Working in silence allows for strategic thinking as well. When you're not busy broadcasting every move, you can observe, learn, and adapt. You can make adjustments without pressure. You can make mistakes and correct them before they become public failures. You can refine your skills and your craft without the noise of opinion clouding your judgment. In other words, silence gives you space to grow smarter, faster, and more precise. And when you finally step into the public eye, the results are undeniable. They hit harder because nobody was expecting the full extent of your preparation. And that element of surprise strengthens your position, your influence, and your credibility. Execution over words also teaches resilience. People will doubt you. People will criticize. People will even try to distract you with their own noise. But if you've built a foundation in silence, all of that outside opinion loses its power. Your confidence comes from the work itself, from knowing that you've done the work and invested the time, not from the applause of spectators. That kind of confidence is unshakable. It allows you to continue moving forward, even when nothing looks certain, even when nobody sees the effort. And when results finally manifest publicly, the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to recognize your success, because it's tangible, undeniable, and earned. Another important aspect is the lesson of timing. When you focus on execution and keep your plans close to your chest, you control the narrative.